Another thing, extremely poor policy. So I don't know if many people know about the history of taxation, but realistically, Australia wasn't really a place that was taxed highly until post-World War II, and it's only gone up since then. So you can see of the GDP really here, the total, should I say, government-funded GDP or what's actually coming out of taxation funds so much of the GDP, it's not even funny here. So you'll see here before World War II, it was around anywhere from about 5 to about 15%, right? Now, in my opinion, 15% should be the absolute maximum that it should be, and it's simply because what happens here really is private businesses, what they do is they actually create jobs and create actual, should I say, productivity. Government doesn't. The government spends your GDP. That's the issue. So this needs to go down, but it's going up. And so this only goes to 2006 and 7. I'll tell you right now, that number's above 40 now. And if we get the spending and all the government servants that I think were promised and might actually go on in our actual politics at the moment, you'll see this number even sweltered even more. So that's very poor policy, but it tends to be what our government tends to do. Let's get further into this. We have even worse financial management. So you'll see here now, to give everyone an idea, the two key things that are most important for, should I say, a country to do well financially are, number one is GDP per capita, and probably even more important, as importantly, would be the productivity in each person. Because if you're not producing very much, it's very hard to justify paying people more, and it's very hard to actually produce more in a total GDP sort of sense in terms of the country. So that's another thing. So if you look here, pretty much since I'd say the mid 2000s, we've been on an absolute slide down in terms of labor productivity and real GDP per capita, whereas the immigration rate has seemed to always go up, which is just insanity. That just makes no sense. But I'm not talking about the immigration rate here anyway. I'm just getting carried away because I don't like it. But those two actual, should I say, line graphs of real GDP per capita and the labor productivity are terrible for the country. So that's just another thing that we don't really need in our country. Furthermore, this is a financial system thing. The last thing I'll get onto in terms of what's actually really going on in the market and what should I say, is really driving the growth. And that is a system that is completely dependent on debt. So no one would argue with me these days if I was to say that to buy a house, you need to go and get a mortgage. Everyone has to do that. It's pretty much a known fact these days, so no one's going to argue with me on that. But realistically, like the asset prices are so high and the amount of money printing is so high that all they can do is print more and more money and make it more and more favorable to people to get in the market to make it easy, which then pushes prices up even further. So what's happening here is you can see here, would you take on a 40-year mortgage? 1 in 3 Aussies would, but it could cost big time. So there are lenders these days that are already offering 40-year mortgages, and a lot of the big four are talking about it too, and they probably will very shortly as well. So that's what's actually going on, and that is not a great thing for the country, but I'm telling you right now, it is going to become more of a thing, and that's why prices are continuing to go up and up and up, because there's no control on the money supply, which is fundamentally what you need for prices to not increase more, and also immigration as well. You just need that to go to be up 50 to 100,000. But anyway, that's another topic. But the system is almost entirely dependent on debt at the moment.